Hello and welcome to Rapid TV News. I am Warren Dunya Muzaka and we begin with the headlines. Rivers Chief Judge blocks Assembly's panel on Fubara's impeachment. Supreme Court dismisses trial of Major Hamza Al-Mustafa in Kudirat Abiola's case. CBN sees record demand as 3.44 trillion naira T-bills oversubscribed. Japan suspends restart of world's largest nuclear power plant. And on sport, Real Madrid tops football rich list. Liverpool surpasses other English clubs. This is today's more. We come to you in the full bulletin. Just stay with us. And on the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in the chairman and 37 commissioners of the Federal Character Commission at the State House in Abuja. The new FCC chairman, Hulayat Omidiran, took the oath of office alongside commissioners representing the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Omidiran, a former two-term member of the House of Representatives from Osun State, succeeds Dr. Muhiba Dankaka, whose tenure the presidency said was dogged by controversy. Omidiran, who holds a degree in biochemistry from Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, has served in legislative and sport administration roles, including at the Nigeria Football Federation and FIFA's Women's Football Committee. Her appointment, confirmed by the Senate in November 2025, also includes the swearing-in of Mohammed Musa, Secretary of the Commission. The Federal Character Commission is constitutionally mandated to ensure fairness in appointment and distribution of public offices and infrastructure across the country. The ceremony was attended by senior government officials, including the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Bajabiamila. The legal battle over the suspension of the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Odugan, has escalated as Senate President Godswill Akpabio has approached the Supreme Court. Court documents cited on Thursday show that Akpabio filed an application seeking to regularize and sustain his appeal against ruling of lower court on the matter. Akpabio is listed as the appellant, while Akpoti-Odugan, the clerk of the National Assembly, the Senate, and the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, Senator Nida Imasun, are named as respondents. The dispute followed a February 2025 plenary session where Akpoti-Odugan raised issues of privilege and alleged procedural breaches, which later led to his suspension based on the committee's recommendation. The Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Simon Amadi, has declined a request by the Rivers State House of Assembly to set up a 7-member panel to investigate allegations of gross misconduct against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Nma-Odu. In a letter to the Speaker of the Assembly, Martin Amehule, the Chief Judge said his decision was based on existing court orders and a pending appeal related to the impeachment process. Justice Amadi explained that his office had been served with interim injunctions restraining him from taking any action on the impeachment request, while the Assembly has also filed an appeal against those orders. Citing a legal principle of lis pendens, he stressed that all parties must maintain the status quo until the court conclude the matter. The development effectively stalls the impeachment process, shifting the dispute entirely to the judiciary pending the outcome of the ongoing legal proceedings. Former Vice President and PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has described the Electoral Act 2022 as flawed, blaming its loopholes for challenges that affected the credibility of the 2023 general elections. He said the gaps made electoral malpractice easier and weakened legal challenges. In a statement on Thursday, Atiku called for urgent amendment to the Act ahead of the 2027 elections. He warned that failure to address the shortcomings could undermine future polls, expressing concern that delays by the Senate in amending the law may erode public confidence in Nigeria's electoral process. The Federal Capital Territory Resident Electoral Commissioner, Malam Aminu Kasimo Idris, has reassured residents of the Commission's readiness for the upcoming February area council elections. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, he highlighted comprehensive preparations aimed at ensuring a credible, peaceful and well-organized poll across all 6 area councils.
The Commission also commenced monitoring of public campaigns by political parties. We have taken delivery of non-sensitive election materials, which have been badged to the area council offices. We have opened portals for the accreditation of observers and the submission of polling agents by political parties, and of course the registration of ad hoc staff that will be used for the election. These portals are ongoing now, and some of them will soon be closing down for final assessment. We have activated diverse devices in readiness for their configuration for the election. We have engaged with a large pool of election stakeholders to strengthen the electoral ecosystem for successful conduct of the election. We have also commenced voter education sensitization activities across the FCT. We have published the final list of registered voters, and we have given the register of voters to political parties as required by law.
Voter education, stakeholder engagement and collaboration are key to successful elections. Residents are urged to participate peacefully in the democratic process. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has clarified that the ongoing permanent voter card collection exercise applies only to residents of the Federal Capital Territory. The exercise is ahead of the February 21, 2026 area council elections in the FCT. INEC urged residents of other states to disregard unverified information suggesting PVC collection is ongoing nationwide. The Commission said eligible voters in the FCT can collect their PVCs at the registration areas from January 22 to January 26 between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily as part of efforts to ensure transparency and orderly elections. The Julius Abure-led leadership of the Labour Party has announced plans to immediately repeal the Federal High Court judgment in Abuja, which recognized the Nnamdi Usman-led caretaker committee. In the ruling delivered on Wednesday, Justice Peter Lifu relied on an April 2025 Supreme Court verdict to affirm Senator Nnamdi Usman as the party's valid leader. However, the Abure faction insists the decision contradicts the Apex Court position that party leadership matters are internal affairs beyond judicial appointment. In a statement, Labour Party spokesman Obiora Ifo said the group remains confident the ruling will be overturned at the Court of Appeal, allegedly procedural lapses and misinterpretation of the Supreme Court judgment. The faction urged party members to remain calm, insisting its tenure has not expired and warning that the party's leadership is not for sale. The United States has called on the Nigerian government to take stronger action to protect Christian communities following the abduction of more than 170 worshippers in Kaduna State. The incident has renewed concerns over religiously motivated violence in the country, although the Kaduna State government and police initially denied the abduction. Authorities later confirmed it on Wednesday. The abductors are reportedly demanding the return of 17 motorcycles allegedly seized during military operations. Speaking in Abuja at the U.S.-Nigeria Working Group meeting, U.S. Under-Secretary for Political Affairs Alison Hooker said recent attacks show Nigeria must do more to guarantee the safety of Christians and protect freedom of worship. The Northern Christian Youth Professionals (NCYP) have condemned the recent attack on Kurumin Wali village in Kajaru, local government area of Kaduna State, where armed kidnappers reportedly invaded 3 churches and abducted 169 people before escaping into the forest. The group described the incident as a disturbing failure of local security, noting that the attackers reportedly moved through the community without resistance. In a statement signed by its representative Isaac Abrak, NCYP urged the federal government to urgently implement a community-driven forest guard system. The group argued that recruiting and training locals who understand the terrain will provide early warning and resistance against attacks. While acknowledging the effort of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani, NCYP says strengthening grassroots security is critical as the 2027 elections approach. Still on security matters, 7 people have been confirmed dead following a nighttime attack on an illegal mining site at Capitex in Kuru Community, Jos South Local Government Area of Plateau State. The Nigerian Army says the incident occurred around 1 a.m. on Thursday when suspected armed bandits stormed the site allegedly to cart away illegally mined minerals. Troops of Sector 6 of Operation Safe Haven were alerted later in the morning and immediately moved in to restore calm, recovering ammunition during a sweep of the area. According to military sources, the victims were engaged in illegal mining activities and had remained at the site overnight in violation of Plateau State ban on illegal and night mining. 10 empty shells of 7.62 mm special ammunition were recovered at the scene, while the bodies were evacuated to a primary health care center in Dabwak, Kuru, for documentation and burial. The army said the delay in reporting the incident was linked to fear of sanctions, but assured that intelligence-driven operations are ongoing to track down the attackers and prevent further violence. The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, says Nigeria's security collaboration with the United States has produced measurable operational gains in the fight against terrorism and transnational crime. Speaking in Abuja at the inauguration of the U.S.-Nigeria Joint Working Group, Ribadu said the partnership has moved beyond discussions to concrete action, resulting in improved intelligence sharing, closer coordination between U.S., Africa, and Nigeria's defense headquarters, and sustained engagement across the country's security institutions. According to the NSA, the cooperation has strengthened Nigeria's counter-terrorism posture and situational awareness across multiple theaters of operation, leading to better target identification and more effective disruption of terrorist networks. Ribadu disclosed that the efforts have resulted in a neutralization of several terrorists, destruction of logistics hubs, and interception of key facilitators. He also commended the United States for the timely delivery of military assets, including drones, helicopters, and spare parts, noting that the collaboration respects Nigeria's sovereignty and prioritizes accountability and civilian protection. The federal government is moving to fast-track the trial of about 5,000 suspected terrorists that are currently in pre-trial detention across Nigeria, according to the 2025-2030 strategic plan of the National Counter-Terrorism Center. The NCTC says it is working with the Defense Headquarters and the Ministry of Justice to clear case backlogs, prosecute credible cases, and dismiss charges lacking sufficient evidence. The plan also includes the creation of a national terrorism database with DNA and biometric profiling to strengthen investigations, while the military says intensified operations have put notorious bandit leader Bello Turji under pressure. Meanwhile, the federal government has earmarked over 204 billion naira for security operations in the 2026 budget to boost counter-terrorism efforts nationwide. The Supreme Court has dismissed the attempt to reopen the murder case of late Kudirat Abiola against former Chief Security Officer to ex-military ruler General Sani Abacha, Major Hamza Al-Mustafa, retired. The Apex Court ruled that Lagos State abandoned the case after failing to take any step to prosecute the appeal for over 9 years, despite being granted permission in 2014 to reopen the trial. During proceedings, Lagos State was absent and had filed no legal process, prompting Al-Mustafa's counsel to urge the court to strike out the matter. In an anonymous decision, the Supreme Court agreed that the state had lost interest in the case, noting that 9 years was more than sufficient time to file a notice and brief of appeal. The court expressed displeasure over Lagos State's failure to appear despite being served hearing notices and formally dismissed the case. The ruling effectively ends all legal effort to revive the trial over the 1996 murder of Kudirat Abiola, wife of the presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, Chief MKO Abiola. The Northern Elders Forum, NEF, has criticized the federal government decision to site Nigeria's national gold refinery in Lagos, describing it as economic dispossession of the North. The group says the move deprives gold-producing communities of value addition and deepens regional inequality. In a statement by its spokesperson, Professor Abubakar G. Kajidire, NEF argued that the decision contradicts the principles of federal character and resource derivation. The forum called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to relocate the refinery to a northern gold-producing area, citing environmental damage and insecurity linked to unregulated mining, and warning that silence on the issue could undermine national cohesion. The protest by indigenous contractors over an alleged 4 trillion naira unpaid debt has intensified, with over 1,000 civil society organizations backing calls for the resignation of the Minister of State for Finance, Doris Uzoka Anite. The CSOs accuse the minister of frustrating efforts to settle verified debt despite presidential directive for prompt payment. The groups warned that continued delays amount to economic sabotage, citing collapsed businesses, loan defaults, and growing hardship among contractors. Meanwhile, the Indigenous Contractors Association of Nigeria says it may escalate protests in Abuja if the federal government fails to release funds for completed 2024 budget projects. The chairman of Ijebu Ode, a local government in Ogun State, Dare Alebiosun, has ordered an immediate suspension of the Awujale of Ijebu land selection process. The directive follows petitions of security report alleged irregularities and inducement in the exercise. In a letter dated January 20th, 2026, the local government said the action was taken under the Obas and Chiefs Law of Ogun State to prevent a breakdown of peace. Kingmakers have been told to halt the process pending further directives. Moving on, the Nigerian police have arraigned 11 suspects before a Federal Capital Territory Court over the murder of Arise TV journalist Somtochukwu Madurugu and the security guard Barnabas Danlami. The suspects are facing charges of criminal conspiracy, armed robbery, and murder. Police said the journalist was killed during a robbery attack at a unique apartment in Katampe Extension, Abuja, in September 2025. Armed men reportedly stormed the building in the early hours, attacking residents and killing the victims. Abia State has taken a major step towards cleaner and more efficient public transport with the launch of the Abia Green Shuttle Bus. The electric-powered service introduced by the Alex Otti administration aims to reduce pollution, ease traffic, and improve daily commuting across the state. Our correspondent, Faith Kevin, reports.
The Abia Green Shuttle Bus was born out of a simple need: to make daily commuting easier for residents of Abia State without adding to the burden of environmental pollution. Promised as a modern transport solution, the initiative set out with an ambitious plan to deploy over 100 buses across intrastate routes. For now, the journey has begun modestly, with just 4 buses introduced as a test run. Weeks after the official launch, an event filled with promises and high expectations, a visit to the park tells its own story. Commuters line up patiently for their turn, some stepping aboard for the first time, others already settling into the routine of regular users. Their voices and experiences offer a glimpse into what it truly means to ply the Abia Green Shuttle and how it is slowly reshaping everyday movement across the state. As the Abia Green Shuttle buses pull in and out of the park, they carry more than passengers. They carry expectations.
So is this your first time flying the Abia Green Shuttle?
No, I've enjoyed it several times.
But the queue is very long. What's the longest you've had to wait?
Yeah, 30 minutes or less even, because the driver take off from Aba to this place, so that is time lag until we get to here. The any delay is not deliberate.
Okay.
They are decisive with their service.
I'm going to Ubakala.
Ubakala.
Yes.
This is your first time experiencing
No. I used to follow this bus every day.
What has been your experience?
Wow, it's so lovely. When you enter there, you enjoy the comfort. It's a nice vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what time do you come out in the morning to wait for the bus?
I used to come out around 9. Exactly around 9 they will come out and convey people to their destinations.
My name is Hope Obonna. Good morning.
Hope Obonna, is this your first time after joining the Abia Green Shuttle service?
Yes, this is my first time.
What have you heard about the Abia Green Shuttle service?
I heard it's free. They'll take you from Umaya to Aba free. And there's AC in the bus.
So what are you looking forward to when you join the bus?
Comfort, free ride, and a safe journey to Aba.
For some, the ride represents comfort, order, and a sense of dignity in public transport. For others, it remains a practical option still finding its footing. Faith Kevin reporting for Rapid TV News.
Family, friends and community members gathered at Akure, Ondo State to pay their final respect to the late Chief Mrs. Florence Olufunke Onyison, who passed away on October 6, 2005 at the age of 73. The two-day funeral program brought together loved ones to reflect on a life defined by service, leadership and compassion, turning moments of grief into a celebration of lasting impact. Our correspondent Esther Umelu reports.
It is a solemn celebration of a life well lived, filled with heartfelt memories and profound appreciation of love, wisdom and legacy left behind at the funeral service of Chief Mrs. Florence Olufunke Onyison, held at the Cathedral Church of St. David, Ijomu, Akure, Ondo State, officiated by the Archbishop of Ondo Ecclesiastical Province, Most Reverend Simeon O. Borokini, Ph.D. The funeral drew dignitaries including former Governor of Ondo State, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, other top government officials, church leaders, friends, who all came to honor late Chief Mrs. Florence Olufunke Onyison.
I was here as a vicar and a provost for 5 years. So I was very close to her. Like I said on the pulpit, she was a giver. And anything she did, she wouldn't like her name to be mentioned at all. She committed herself to humanity.
The woman we are celebrating today, as you can see from the church service, in terms of the clergy, in terms of the different associations that came to pay their respect to her, that defines her character. Excitingly beautiful, sunny woman, always with that permanent smile. And of course, she was particularly generous.
It's an atmosphere of deep emotion and quiet reflection as a family. For the husband and children, the loss is profound. Through tears and heartfelt tributes, they describe her as a constant source of love, guidance, and strength.
Well, I must have been one of the luckiest men to have married, which means I had a very happy, successful marriage for just 55 years, with 5 children, successful ones, and she passed on at the age of about 73. And I miss her very dearly because she was not just a wife, she was a very good friend of mine. She was also a substitute mother when my natural biological mother passed on.
I thank God for the life of my mom, a God-fearing mother, devoted, first of all, to her maker, which is God, and then to his work, as in the work of God, to the family.
My mom was, and still is, one of the greatest people that I've met. Values taught. She was a shield for not just myself, my siblings, my father, my family, extended as well. But what most people remember her for is her silent philanthropy, her love for God, and caring for anyone that comes across our path. Values which a number of us have imbibed. Forgiveness is one of them. It's a cruel world we live in, and the ability to forgive and live a fulfilled life is a lifelong art.
She's a woman who puts the family first. She's a man who loves the family. She's a very hardworking woman. She's a very resilient woman. She's a very generous woman. She's a lover of good things, and she sows a lot in people's lives. One thing we always tell ourselves is that we're not the only one the woman give birth to. Sometimes when we have some people come and meet us and tell us what she has done for them, and we're like, Mommy didn't tell us this, so she never told us this. So I feel that what she does and the kind of behavior and the kind of character she has is something very rare today, and it's something that actually keeps the bond in the family very strong.
As prayers were officiated and final rites observed, one message resonated throughout the ceremony. She lived a life defined by love, and that love continues to live on in the hearts of those she leaves behind. Esther Omelo, Rapid TV, Lagos.
You're still on to Rapid TV News. We'll quickly take a break. On our return, we'll have more stories coming. Just stay with us.
From the heart of Africa, where dreams are born and passion is boundless, a new wave of talent rises. In La Liga, these extraordinary athletes are not just playing the game, they're transforming it.
Danny Rodriguez, the man chasing, it's Lamine Yamal! What a magnificent goal that
They
is!
shine on the world stage. Watch as they redefine football, inspire millions, and make history. La Liga, where dreams become reality.
Are you missing out on interviews, music, entertainment, thought-provoking discussions, and more? Don't sweat it, man. We've got you covered. No matter where you are, be part of the action 24/7, online and live.
Caesar Radio. On Facebook, it's Rapid FM Umuahia. On Instagram, it's official Rapid FM. And on X, it is Rapid FM 965. Tune in to Rapid 96.5 FM or listen to us live on our website at www.rapidfm965.com or radiogarden.com. Better yet, get our mobile app from the Google Play Store. Catch the pulse of the Southeast on Rapid 96.5 FM, the sound of your city.
Hey, Oyanam, Caesar Radio.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nightcomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
We're glad to have you back and now to carry the rest of the stories. The Central Bank of Nigeria has recorded strong investor demand for its Nigeria Treasury bills, with subscriptions reaching 3.44 trillion naira at the primary market auction on Wednesday, the highest since December 2024. The Apex Bank has offered 1.15 trillion naira across 3 tenors, but sold 1.06 trillion naira as investors showed overwhelming interest in a 364-day bill, which attracted demands nearly 4 times its offer size. Short-term yields rose, with the 91-day bill closing at 16.50% and the 182-day at 18.17%, while the 1-year yield eased slightly to 22.49%, but remain elevated. Analysts say the surge in demand and high yields reflect aggressive government borrowing and the central bank's tighter monetary policy aimed at curbing inflation and stabilizing the naira, with a projected 23.85 trillion naira fiscal deficit in 2026. The federal government is relying heavily on domestic borrowing, including 7.55 trillion naira plan for the first quarter alone. The CBN is also keeping rates attractive to draw in foreign portfolio investment and absorb excess liquidity. Meanwhile, at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Nigerian officials urge global investors to look beyond security concerns, insisting that risks are overstated and that Nigeria remains open for business. Up next, more business reports coming your way.
You're welcome to the Business Update. I am Divine Alex. Today, we begin with Nigeria's fiscal position as authorities manage spending and revenue pressures. The federal government sees expenditure control remains a priority in 2026. Rising debt service and costs continue to strain public finances. Revenue agencies are being tasked with improving collections. The non-oil income remains central to fiscal sustainability plans. Businesses are watching how fiscal policies affect operating costs, and analysts warn that weak revenues could limit economic flexibility. Attention shifts to the energy sector and power supply. The power generation remains a key concern for businesses nationwide, while manufacturers say unreliable electricity increases operating expenses. The energy costs continue to affect production and pricing decisions. The private sector players are calling for faster power sector reforms. Investment in energy infrastructure is seen as critical for growth, while economists say stable power supply would improve productivity. Global markets remain cautious amid shifting economic signals. The global stocks traded mixed as investors weighed growth concerns. The central bank policy expectations continued to shape market sentiment. Oil prices fluctuated amid demand outlooks and supply risks. Currency markets recorded modest movement, while trade and geopolitical issues stayed in focus. Analysts say uncertainty will persist in global markets. And that's the business news update. For more stories, follow us across our digital platforms. I am Divine Alex. Good evening. Now the Rapid TV News Hour continues. Stay with us.
Japan has suspended the restart of the world's largest nuclear power plant after an alarm was triggered during standard procedures. The Kashiwazaki Kariwa plant in Niigata province shut since the 2011 Fukushima disaster had only resumed restart operations on Wednesday, following approval from the nuclear regulator. Operator Tokyo Electric Power Company TEPCO said the alert came from the monitoring system, forcing a halt to operations with officials, admitting it may take time to determine the cause. TEPCO said investigations are ongoing into faulty electrical equipment, stressing that the reactor remains stable with no radioactive impact outside the facility. Control rods were inserted as a precautionary measure, marking another delay after earlier technical issues. Japan is seeking to revive nuclear power to cut fossil fuel use and meet carbon neutral goals, but public opinion remains divided, with many local residents opposing the restart over safety concerns linked to seismic risk. Let's now take you to the foreign scene for more global updates.
Good evening and a warm welcome to the international news. First to Uganda, where Uganda's military chief has given opposition leader Bobi Wine 48 hours to surrender to police following last week's disputed presidential election, a move that underscores a tense, ongoing standoff in the East African nation. Wine, who finished runner-up, has alleged widespread fraud in the vote that saw incumbent President Yoweri Museveni win a 7th term in office. He says he is in hiding after a military raid on his home hours before Museveni was declared victor on Saturday. In a series of posts on X late on Monday, military chief Muhoozi Kainerugaba threatened Wine with violence, stating he would be treated as an outlaw if he fails to hand himself in. Kainerugaba, Museveni's son, is widely believed to be his preferred successor and is known for provocative social media remarks. The post added to a climate of intimidation reported by Wine's camp, which says security forces are targeting opponents. Meanwhile, at least 118 members of Wine's National Unity Platform party were charged in court on Monday with election-related offences, including unlawful assembly and conspiracy. The party's Secretary-General denies violence by party members. Now to New Zealand, where 2 people have died in a landslide at Welcome Bay on New Zealand's east coast, officials say, as the country grapples with extreme weather over the past 48 hours. The event followed other damaging conditions that have affected parts of the North Island. Prime Minister Christopher Luxon described the situation as a nation in heavy grief after what he called a profound tragedy driven by severe weather. Another landslide hit a campground at Mount Maunganui, a popular tourist area, leaving several people missing. Rescue workers reported no signs of life at the campsite, and Emergency Management Minister Mark Mitchell confirmed that at least one young girl is among those unaccounted for. Authorities said search and rescue operations would continue through the night as teams worked to reach affected sites. The Bay of Plenty region has experienced heavy rainfall and strong winds in recent days, triggering widespread power outages and flooding across communities, officials said. Crews were prioritizing access to damaged areas and coordinating with local authorities. Prime Minister Luxon is expected to visit disaster zones tomorrow to oversee the response effort. Finally to Japan, where Japan has restarted operation of reactor number 6 at the Kashiwazaki Kariwa nuclear plant, the world's largest facility, as part of the country's cautious restart of its post-Fukushima fleet. The move, taken despite local safety concerns, followed a one-day delay caused by an alarm malfunction. Commercial operation is expected to begin next month as authorities evaluate post-incident performance. The Kashiwazaki Kariwa complex, located northwest of Tokyo, previously relied on 7 reactors. Only this 6th unit is returning for service for now. Plans for the 7th reactor remain in the future, with potential decommissioning for some units. The plant's restart comes after Japan spent more than a decade under a policy of restarting reactors while strengthening safety standards. Overseen by the Nuclear Regulation Authority, NRA, observers note ongoing challenges include public mistrust and the high cost associated with enhanced safety checks. TEPCO, the plant's operator, has faced criticism for past incidents, but says it will continue to improve safety management. The government aims to increase nuclear's share of electricity to support energy self-sufficiency, even as it faces broader debates over renewables and emissions. And thanks for watching. Have a great evening. I am Arthur James Bruce.
Up next is the entertainment segment.
From music to food and everything in between. Here's your entertainment roundup with the latest buzz making waves in Nigeria and beyond. First up, media personality that Freezy has weighed in on the hot debate comparing global Afrobeat star Wizkid to Afrobeat legend Fela Kuti. He insists such comparisons are unfair, pointing out that Fela's legacy went beyond music to activities, philanthropy, and standing against comparative government. Freeze urges that while Wizkid is a talented performer, Olufela risked his life and freedom to fight for justice. He reminded fans of Fela's imprisonment and struggling, saying true comparison could require similar courage and social impact. Meanwhile, staying in the music scene, another Afrobeat star shares his personal journey. Oxlade has opened up about why he hasn't smoked or taken drugs, crediting his strong Christianity upbringing and musical family for sharpening his lifestyle. Speaking with gospel singer Tim Guthrie, he revealed that starting in the church choir taught him discipline, creativity, and a love from music. He said his faith continued to guide his career, attributing his ability to 40 cities with his debut album to God's blessings, emphasizing that staying true to his roots has been key to his success. And finally, from music to kitchen, a Nigerian chef is cooking up for than just meal. Nigerian celebrity Chief Hilda Basi has become a 3-time Guinness World Record holder. She previously set the record for the longest individual cooking marathon and the largest pot of Nigerian-style jollof rice. Recently, Guinness confirmed that the same day she broke her jollof rice record, she also set the largest serving of rice all over, bringing her total to 3 records holder. Basi shared her excitement on social media, thanking her team, supporters and God for making the historical achievement possible. And that's it for today's entertainment highlights. Music legend, radio star and recorded breaking chef. I am Victoria Adek and thanks for staying with us.
And now on sports, Real Madrid has retained their position at the top of world football's rich list according to Deloitte's latest Morning League study, despite ending 2024/2025 season without a major trophy. The Spanish giant generated nearly 1.2 billion euros in revenue, driven largely by strong commercial earnings linked to the redevelopment of the Santiago Bernabeu into a multipurpose venue. Barcelona returned to second place with 975 million euros, while Bayern Munich ranked third, just ahead of Paris Saint-Germain, whose revenue was boosted by a historic Champions League triumph. The Premier League dominated the rest of the top 10, with Liverpool emerging as the highest-earning English club for the first time after expanding Anfield, returning to the Champions League and winning the league title. Manchester City and Manchester United both slipped down the rankings, while overall revenues among Europe's top 20 clubs rose by 11% to 12.4 billion euros. Deloitte analysts say clubs are increasingly focusing on commercial income, brand strength and stadium assets as teams seek new ways to grow revenue beyond traditional broadcast deals. Super Eagles striker Akor Adams has received continental recognition after his goal against Algeria at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations was named among CAF's top 5 goals of the tournament. The strike scored during Algiers' quarterfinal clash with Algeria showcased Adams' composure and technical quality, helping the Super Eagles secure a 2-0 victory and eventually finish third at the competition. CAF said the selection highlights goals that combine brilliance with match-defining impact. Adams' effort ranked alongside spectacular strikes by Morocco's Ayoub El Kabi, Cameroon teenager Christian Koufani, Algeria's Adil Boulbina, and the Senegal midfielder Pape Gueye, whose extra-time winner sealed Senegal's AFCON title. The recognition underlines Adams' growing influence in African football and reflects Nigeria's strong showing at the tournament. The University of Calabar has been confirmed as the host of the 28th Nigeria University Games Association NUGA, scheduled for August 2026. The Vice-Chancellor of UNICAL, Professor Efanga Ofyong, formally received the hosting flag and signed the Memorandum of Agreement, officially granting the university the mandate to organize the Games. The handover ceremony was conducted by the NUGA Games Committee, led by Professor Lucas Ugujimi, Chairman of UNICAL NUGA Games 2026. UNICAL has promised full commitment to delivering what it calls the best NUGA Games ever, highlighting Calabar's reputation as a peaceful and welcoming host city. The Cross River State Government will serve as chief host. The preparations are already underway for athletes, officials, and guests from universities across Nigeria. The 27th edition was hosted by University of Jos in November 2025, while Ahmadu Bello University has secured provisional rights to host the 29th edition in 2028. And now to end the news, here's a quick recap. Rivers Chief Judge blocks Assembly's panel on Fubara's impeachment. Supreme Court dismisses trial of Major Hamza Al-Mustafa in Kudirat Abiola's case. CBN sees record demand as 3.44 trillion naira T-bills oversubscribed. Japan suspends restart of world's largest nuclear power plant. Real Madrid tops football rich list. Liverpool surpasses other English clubs. And that's what we have on Rapid TV News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news. My name is Denwar Mazaka. Do have a good day.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nigecomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN, the sound of your city. Rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Greatness is not faceless. Greatness has a face. It has many faces. It has over 200 million faces. It has your face. It has my face. Greatness is beyond what we do. It's how we do it. It is the people we do it for. It is never settling, continuously tinkering with an idea till answers to age-old questions emerge. It is our wittiness. It is our speed. It's our energy. It's our heavy punches. It is making melodies from anything. It is in the endless poetry of Nigerian life. Joyful, frustrating, sad, exciting. It's the mix of colors, imitating the breathtaking tapestry of life. It's our defiance of fear and our almost defiant, nearly arrogant presence in the galleries of the distinguished. It is these everyday people creating timeless, priceless art, carving spectacle, crafting history. It is resilience woven into the fabric that we are made of and we wear. Etu, Ashoke, Akwete, Kura. Greatness, the Nigerian spirit. That thing about us that all recognize and still cannot find the right words to describe. Great is Nigerian. Greatness is when Toby Amusho does the 100 meters hurdles in 12.12 seconds and a stunned world held its breath. Greatness is the chicken scratch guitar chords that bewitched the world. A new beat, Afrobeat, from Fela and now to Burna Boy, to Wizkid and Davido. It is the earthy Afro pop of Asha. It's the compelling, beguiling Nigerian R&B of Tiwa and Tenny, and the alternative sounds of Thames, Johnny Drill and Chike. Greatness is how our phenomenal artists are selling out arenas both home and abroad with tens of thousands of people showing up to experience the pulsations of this mysteriously sweet music. Greatness is Kunle Afolayan, Jadesola Oshiberu, Kemi Adetiba, Nazo Nuzo, hitting mind-boggling box office numbers, securing global film deals, and rallying communities. Not so long ago, content was just television, and now digital content is the new oil, with our skit makers, content creators, thought leaders, growing our digital economy. Greatness is Professors Kayode Oyewumi and Musa Yakubu, being listed among Elsevier BV's most productive scientists in the world. Greatness is Ethan Nwaneri at 15, becoming the world's youngest player in the English Premier League. Greatness is Abasi Eneobong, pioneering the inclusion of the African genome in research through 54 genes. And Aisha Tofa, building and nurturing a tech ecosystem through Startup Kano. Greatness is Amina Mohammed, championing the voice of global peace as we take a prominent place at the table. Greatness is Miracle Izochukwu, becoming the youngest female commercial pilot in North America. Greatness is Faith Odunsi, calculating her way to become the global mathematics champion.
To express 0.00.
2.4 times 10 to the minus 5.
Correct.
Greatness is the pantheon of Nigerian authors. Their stories, our stories, bringing the world into the magic, the pain, the triumphs of the Nigerian experience. Greatness is the unicorns. 6 companies created by Nigerians under 30 years old, now worth over $1 billion each. The stories, the people, Nigeria. Each of these stories of greatness across the globe has you in it, and it has me in it. And we can almost take them for granted. They are so Nigerian. Chimamanda talked about the danger of a single story, where negative stories are used to flatten an individual's experience and overlook the many other stories that formed them. We are our stories. We are not one story, and we must tell these stories to ourselves and to the world. Nigeria is not faceless. It's not an obscure concept or a dream hiding behind the waving of a green flag. Nigeria has a face. It has many faces. It has over 200 million faces. It has your face. It has my face. What is a dream without a dreamer? You are a hero in this great story. Your name hasn't been mentioned yet, but it will be. You haven't caught the headlines yet, but you will. Oh boy, you never blow yet, but you go soon blow. You know it. I know it. I know you won't stop trying. You won't stop trying. I know you won't ever give up. You know you won't ever give up. How do I know? I'm in Nigeria, and you are too. And we don't stop until we win.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nigecomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city. Rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.